Young people call it brain rot. And it's a problem of when you start consuming so much stupid data that your brain is rotting. Now, this phenomenon existed since many years ago, okay, but it becomes extremely evident with social network. Why we need to talk about this? Because first of all, each one of us is victim about this. Second, this is also AI is victim about this. Third, we need a way out. Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about all of those. And let's start, so you realize that your brain is rotting as well. So tell me the truth. Have you been watching a movie and in the same time looking at your phone or a second screen, like your computer or something? Because if this happened, your brain is rotting. That means that the film, the movie that you're watching, was not enough to capture your attention. You needed more. Your brain was asking for more dopamine. Okay, think about that. A movie is not something, as low-level entertainment, unless you choose really bad ones. Okay, but so it's a really high-level entertainment. There have been millions invested into create that kind of entertainment. There are professionals working there. There's amazing actors, amazing story, and so on, there to keep you entertained. Okay, we love stories, and those movies are full of beautiful stories. Now, if that was not enough, it's clear that your brain is rotting. Okay, and I'm not putting myself outside. I'm going to talk about later on about my specific case, but I also find myself checking the phone. Okay, so that is the signal. Okay, we are a different level of severeness. I don't know how is this word, but basically, no, each one of us is affected in the same level. Okay, but I believe in a way or another, each one of us is inside this fog. Because of social network, okay, because of this lifestyle that we live, because life has become so easy, so safe, that we can have the luxury of not thinking deep. Okay, not do critical thinking, creative thinking, analytical thinking, and emotional thinking, and so on. Okay, so we can somehow stop thinking and replace our thinking with the dopamine of the doom scrolling. Now, young people have a solution for this. And unfortunately, I have to say this thing. So if you're young people, listen up. So your solution, the solution of laughing at your brain rotting, is not working. Okay, it doesn't work because our brain doesn't work in that way. Okay, so the idea is that you recognize that your brain is rotting. Okay, you're just watching bad content all day long. Okay, so you realize your brain rotting. So what you do, you laugh at it. You laugh at yourself, thinking that, okay, if I realize that that is the enemy, okay, that is the enemy, I recognize it, and I recognize that it's affecting me, the fact that I laugh at it, you feel like you become somehow immune. It's your defense system to it. In reality, it doesn't work because our brain doesn't work with thinking in that term. Okay, the thinking doesn't create the protecting system mechanism that is required because it's a chemical reaction. So the content is attacking you. Okay, so the fact that you recognize that something is attacking you doesn't stop it from attacking. It doesn't stop the war. So what is happening is it's give you dopamine. Okay, and your brain becomes used to it and wants more and more and more. Okay, and that is the reason why the movie is not enough. Okay, I bet most of young people can't watch a movie because it's too long, it's too much. Okay, that is the level of brain rotting. Now, I'm not judging, okay? You're not for long-term, long video and so on. Okay, so it's not me judging, it's me analyzing a phenomenon. And absolutely, there are probably better way of be active. Like, for example, video games, it's somehow are more active than watching a movie. Okay, so I'm not here to judge. I'm here to think together. Let's think together and be honest. Okay, so there are some elements there that are kind of really dangerous for us as a human. Okay, in the sense this amount of dopamine that we receive create a chemical reaction and create like a level of being numb. Okay, so I don't feel much. I don't feel anything anymore. That is not good enough. I need more. I need more and more and more. Okay, that what's happening if you zoom out. Okay, if you zoom out, what you see is that if a movie is not enough, you add a movie plus maybe a game. Okay, you play a game and watch a movie in the same time. Then, how do you think going out with a friend, having a chat with your friend is going to be good enough? Okay, if millions invest in a movie and millions invest in a game are not enough for your brain. So your brain is rotting because it demands more, but to a level that is not healthy, that is not human, that is not natural. Okay, that require you to re-architect your life. Now, this is completely complicated. Okay, I totally understand. We will, later on in the video, I'm going to explain what's the strategy. And there are actually a movement that is pushing towards the strategy. But also that movement that I'm going to explain, it's not good enough. Like it somehow create another problem. So what I'm so let's put this together so we can move forward. So brain rotting, too much data, too much low quality data. Reaction is I'm gonna laugh at it. It's not working. You get you create a dependency, okay, from this dopamine. Now you are in some of this trap and fog and no a way out. Adult is in the same place, okay, in a different way. They think, no, I'm not on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all about business and so on. I'm checking my email, I'm doing this stuff and so on. It's exactly the same, okay? It's just that you believe that you're better, okay? We are exactly like the 12 years old getting, stuck inside TikTok. It's exactly the same things that happen to our brain, that happen to their brain. Okay, so this is where we are. Now, what is the movement that I was talking about? So there is a movement about people going analog. Okay, the idea is to replace the phone, the time that you spend on the phone, the time you spend on computer, with something that is analog. Okay, which makes sense. Okay, I'm going to tell you why it doesn't fully work. So analog means instead of taking photo with my phone, which I can take millions of photos, and then don't pay attention, don't give value to it, I use a film camera. So I take photo, each photo it costs money, it requires time to develop, you can't see it right away. So unless you have this kind of Polaroid that create instant prints, but nevertheless, they cost money, so you need to be much more aware. You need to think before clicking. So that create a level of friction, a level of kind of a process that require you to think, to be more present. That it's amazing. Okay, so this is why there's this trend of going that direction. So doing journaling, write it down. Okay, you write down, you need to think, you're disconnected, you're not on a computer, on a mobile phone, you're on a piece of paper that, most importantly, it doesn't want to sell you anything. Okay, you're there with your piece of paper and putting down your words. I personally like to use to go out, walk in nature, and record my thinking. And this is, for me, it's convenient just because I'm outside, okay, where I cannot be distracted. There is not the demand of whatever things around me. Okay, I'm just there in nature. There's nothing can happen. I just press record my thinking. That's it. It's just me and my thoughts. But this, let's call it analog process, that is much more, it's both slower, harder, create a lot of friction. There is a lot of things, that there is energy that need to be spent to create that part. Okay, photo, journal, whatever it is. Okay, it's a kind of interesting thing. So that is part of the solution. Let's go deeper into this going analog, because I want to give you some idea. So there are some people, instead of using Spotify and whatever, iTunes, all those app where you have basically unlimited music. Okay, so there is this there's kind of unlimited access to music, so you create a playlist and so on. It's too much. Okay, for our brain that is too much. So it's make much more sense to create your mixtape. Okay, mixtape can be done in a different way. So there are some people going back to actually tape cassette. There's some people that goes to vinyls. Okay, so they listen only to vinyls. There's some people that do CD, and they can record CDs or create their own compilation and so on. So that process, think about the cassette. That is beautiful. Okay, the cassette you need to, record and takes time. You record one to one. It doesn't go faster. Okay, so you press play on one side, maybe your CD, whatever it is. You press record on your tape. You need to listen to the whole song, then pause, and then change song, then start again. So this is a lot of work. Okay, but that work is what it's healthy to our brain. It's connect you to the present, connect you to an action, and that action has value because there is work behind it. Okay, then you take the tape and you write. So you do the graphic, you write down the text and so on. So that was what used to be done in the 80s, 90s. So it was a lot of work to create something. Now that process, it's actually working, okay, because it takes you away from those social media, those devices that capture your attention, and you are in an environment where there is not one that wants to sell you anything. Okay, and that is extremely important. There's not an algorithm that try to create the narrative. Okay, you are the one that creates the narrative. So if you simplify here, is you move from a consumer to a producer, okay? From a content consumer to a content creator. And that is the step that we need to do, all of us, okay? So it is about creating. So create your entertainment. Create your way to, to basically insert friction in your action. Because that friction, it's what our brain requires to learn. Okay, there's no way that you learn without friction. Okay, so it's not this idea of Matrix, the movie. That you upload karate. Okay, it doesn't work. We cannot do it. This. Okay, there is not gonna happen this future where you're gonna do this. So you need to go for friction. So get a music instrument, start to play, and understand that effort that you put is what is gonna basically print the knowledge in your brain. Now this is a weird talk, okay? Because I'm trying to talk for both young people, okay, that are not following this channel because I'm too old, but I would like to talk to them, okay? Because it's I don't know. I find it kind of important that they have a connection with someone that comes before the trap. Before the trap were built, I was there. I saw it. Okay, but I want to also talk about these people like me. Okay, or a little bit younger, a little bit older. But the idea is to professionals that they're actually in exactly the same trap, but they think probably they're better. Okay, I'm not like the 12 years old doom scrolling. I'm just doom scrolling LinkedIn and my emails. So how did it work for me? Okay, I think I'm somehow in a lucky position because I always been experimenting with my life. Okay, in a sense that I didn't follow instruction. I always been a kind of the curator of my own life. So I did some not bad choice because I won't talk about bad choices, but I wouldn't see them as a bad choice, but really kind of not conventional choices in my life. So I followed the path that felt good to me. And why I was able to do it is because I was listening to myself. Okay, this ability that I think is one of my gifts. Okay, the ability to listen to my body, listen to my needs, listen to who I am, and try to actually respect it. And that means sometimes moving in a different country, sometimes is quitting a job, sometimes quitting a relationship, sometimes, I don't know, getting Just to give you an example, I've been living, a part of my experiment, okay? I've been living in a converted van for 2 years, okay? You know, this van life, yeah, I've done it before it was trending. So I tried to experiment because I wanted to discover who I was, what I wanted. In that time, I wanted to discover what was the minimum required, what's the minimum electricity, look after my water, look after the basic of survival. And I wanted to see that kind of journey. So I did, and the funny thing is that by doing this kind of choice, you need to be active, you need to be thinking, you need to be, listening to yourself, you need to find solution for a lot of problem, daily problem, real problem, the water, okay, it's extremely important, and the weather, okay, so understanding where to park so you wouldn't have the sun in the morning that would bake your van, or maybe if it's winter you would park in the sun because you want as soon as the sun come out to warm up your van. So all this was happened to me. So because of all of this, I feel my body, and now I spend hours in nature, okay, because my body needs it. Okay, and what I do a lot of thinking, a lot of critical thinking, a lot of expressing my idea, trying to discover what my idea are. So this being active is the real way to get out. So the analog process, it can somehow push you, kind of protects you from the digital devices. Okay, but at the same time, we can't disconnect completely ourselves from the digital. So we can't go back to what was in the 90s. Okay, we are in 2026, and digital is here. The social network can be used in a healthy way. There are social networks that are better than the others, of course, because of the different algorithm, because of whatever, okay? But the analog can help you, okay? And you should do it. Try at least one thing, try to do it. But what is the way out is to listen to yourself and do your thinking. Become a creator, okay? Don't be a consumer, be a creator. This is my way out, but it's not finished yet. Because what is crazy about this is that this exact brain rot is happening to AI. Now, this is it's in somehow it's similar but different. Okay, so AI it's been feeding our data, okay, human generated data, so which we can call it quality data. Not all the time, but basically a good training is done by selecting quality data and giving to the high quality data, okay, and removing the mistakes, the rubbish, the noise. So through this quality data, AI has been learning. Now, the idea was, okay, this human data is going to end. The prediction is, the estimation is that between 2026, 2027, so this year, next year maximum, the human data will be all assimilated by AI. Everything, okay? That means there's not going to be any new data. Now, they've been talking about synthetic data. Okay, at the beginning it was, okay, we just destroy this wall that would be the limit of human generated data, and now we can do synthetic data. But then it's been found out that this synthetic data creates the brain rot. Okay, because the real experience from human, okay, so something that actually happened, okay, that actually did, has more quality than something that is being pretended to happen, like they are hallucinated to happen. Okay, so the fact that there is an element, okay, of coherence, because that can happen really, because it did happen, and therefore it's real. So that thing, it's extremely important. So when you create synthetic data where the thing is potential, okay, it's something that could be like, okay, it's something that it didn't happen. That is the point. So therefore there is an element, maybe a little percentage of, let's say, not realistic, because it's a little bit hallucination, because all the elements that are there, but there is no imperfect harmony, because in reality that thing cannot happen. Okay, so that the little deviation from reality get accumulated. That process is rotting the AI. Now, the strategy of those, I call them monoculture AI, okay? Those big corporate AI that created like one single culture. The idea is to build AGI through the brute force of compute, giving them more knowledge, giving more power, and so on, okay? And they're going into this level of basically brain rot for the AI, okay? Because they have no data, and there is no a way out at the moment for this. I have my theory about what's the way out, but for them it is about quantity, okay, quality and quantity. So it is about push as much as possible inside this model until they become extremely clever. My thinking is different, okay, in the sense, okay, first we might need a completely different approach to reach AGI, but let's say that we have this as a LLM, okay, this model that in somehow predict the next token. So it's a prediction model. It's not real reasoning. It's not real AGI. So if that is the technology that we have, what can we do to improve it? Okay, and it's not about, from my point of view, thinking, okay, I'm gonna get to AGI. Okay, so a general artificial intelligence that basically can have PhD knowledge and reasoning on everything. Okay, and sometimes going over the what human can do. I don't think that is necessary. I think what we really need an AI that we can trust. That is the most important thing. Okay, can I trust that this AI can do that specific job? So instead of going wide, okay, an AI that can do anything, I really like to do an AI that can do less. That less means closer to a real human, in the sense I don't have a PhD level on anything. Actually, on anything, I don't have a PhD level. I mean, I can say that I have PhD. I don't have a PhD, but I have PhD maybe level on some specific stuff. Okay, but the point here is it's just there. I don't have on everything. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so I might have some really good knowledge on something, some little bit less on something else, and so on. But this is me. That is who I am. Okay, I got some knowledge. I got some really good reason on some specific topic, and I'm an idiot on something else. Okay, so but this it's good enough for me. Okay, it's of course I want to improve and so on. But if I would have an AI that could be a kind of similar to myself. So think about in your case, you have an AI that is similar to you. Okay, with your limits, with your problem, with everything. Okay, it's similar to you, but you can trust it. Okay, it's similar to you. Basically, it works for you. You build. You have a few of them, and you build your business. You do whatever you want to do with them. That for me would be enough. I mean, we never say, okay, this is enough, therefore we stop. Okay, we are gonna carry on developing and so on, research. I'm pro research, I'm pro improvement and so on. But we need to understand about what we need now. We need something that we can trust, because the AI that we have cannot be trusted. The trajectory we have is about basically brain rotting. So let's go back on the whiteboard and think what else we can do with this kind of technology. So this is my thinking. This is what I'd like you to think, and let me know if you've been brain rot. Okay, if your brain is rotting, and if you've been doing something to escape this problem. And yeah, of course, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Wait. There is a link in the description for a deep dive. Okay, the article is really good. You should read it. There is a lot to go deeper and understand about this topic. Thanks for staying until the end, and see you next time. Ciao.